The one thing they're talking about doing for the All-Star game, which I'm sure you're aware of, is moving it from Tuesday to Wednesday. And the reason they would do that is so that, a lot of the pitchers who throw on Sunday can't throw in the All-Star game. So this would make them some of the premier pitchers that aren't really on display in the All-Star game, they would be available to pitch on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. So that might happen.
Yeah, give them an extra day to get ready. We're talking with Hal Bodley, writer for MLB.com. It's an honor to have such a great baseball mind on the show. And now let me ask you a question. We heard things on Ryan Howard that his recovery was coming along very well. Very well. And then he went back to see the Dr. Meyerson for a checkup, and they noticed that the sutures, the wound, wasn't healing correctly. They did a little procedure to clean out an infection. Any knowledge into that? It's not a huge setback, they said, but any knowledge into that, how much it might put him back?
Well, we've been following that rather closely. Basically, the suture or the stitch or whatever you want to call it from that surgery for the Achilles, it didn't heal correctly. And those people who've had all kinds of surgeries have had that kind of problem where you get an infection. And that's what happened. He went to Baltimore. He was examined by the specialist who did the surgery, and they decided that he was going to have to shut it down for a while. But, realistically, a lot of people don't feel he's going to be ready until about mid-May. He was a little bit ahead of schedule. He looked good the other day prior to all this happening, taking batting practice and fielding ground balls.
I heard he put a couple over the fence.
That's right. So I really think that, the big plus about all of this, and the Phillies people have talked about it, is that there was no problem with the Achilles. That's remained intact. The surgery has remained successful. And this is really somewhat of I hate to minimize it, but a superficial problem with the infection, and they certainly are going to take care of it.
Yeah, and the thing is with the Phillies, with the acquisition of Lance Nix and the other player they got, I'm slipping his name.
Ty Whittington,
and they got Tomei, who can probably suit it up for 1 or 2 games, maybe every 2 weeks at first base and get some pinch hits, big at bats. They got the young man John Mayberry Jr., who could throw on a first baseman's mitt and get things done. So they shouldn't really have a problem.
They should be all right with this. One player. If you remember last year, they won 102 games, the best record in the major leagues, and winning those 102 games, a lot of those games, Charlie Manuel did not have his starting lineup out there. There were a lot of guys on the disabled list, and yet they still won 102 games.
And it seems to be that way every year with this Phillies team. And let's talk a little bit about Charlie. We're here for the Special Olympics, a great deal. And the thing is with Charlie, like I said, he won 102 games with his starting lineup, maybe 40 of them, I think. And I wanted to see Charlie gets a little bit more consideration for that Manager of the Year, but maybe that's just me as a homer.
No. I agree with you totally. It's the baseball writers vote for this, and I'm a member of the baseball writers, but I'm very critical of it. The manager who is not expected to win most always is the manager who gets Manager of the Year. They come out of nowhere. Kirk Gibson, of course, did it last year, and the problem is that a manager who is expected to win, who has a big payroll, has a good team, they almost are pushed aside. And that's Charlie. I think that he certainly deserves to get recognition for the type of thing he does. To keep that ball club in first place as well as they did with all the injuries they had and everything.
That's
certainly a managerial thing. I thought that when it was all said and done last year, that Tony La Russa should have been Manager of the Year in the National League. The Cardinals came out of nowhere, won the wild card, and went on and won the World Series, but they say no because they had a better team and they were expected to win and that type of thing. And I don't buy that.
It's not like Gibby didn't deserve the award. There's so many guys that were deserving.
I get big arguments about this.
It's not that Gibby didn't deserve it. It's just the guys like Charlie and Tony who are supposed to do it, especially a guy like Charlie who still wins 100 games with a team that was ravaged with injuries for a lot of part of the season.
Right.
So, and let's talk a little bit why you're here personally, helping out here for the event for these Special Olympics and things like that.
I think it's an ideal thing, and I certainly hope it's well attended and that they raise a lot of money for that charity for the Special Olympics. Charlie Manuel and I go way back together. I first met him in the 70s and got to know him pretty well in 1979, covering baseball in Japan for a special all-star event over there. And I often tease him. And I said,
somewhat of a star over there, wasn't he?
I have never seen a person hit a ball any harder or further than he did in Japan. He could really hit a ball. And I tease him about that an awful lot. And we played golf a couple of times. And he does the same thing with the golf. One time we were playing, and there was a tree between Charlie and between Charlie and the green. And I said, there's no way you're going to be able to go over that tree because it was really 50 feet tall. And he said, watch me. and he gave it everything he had, and it goes high over the tree, lands on the green. Same thing he does with the baseball. It goes out of the ballpark.
Just take a big swing, hit it high.
You got it.
Right? That's great. What a great story. So anyway, we'll have Charlie over here in a little bit. He's over there signing autographs, doing great things. But like we said, Special Olympics going to be a better cause. And to be able to know Charlie through his career here must be something really special. And just, we got to get out of here. We got to get to a break. I'm so disappointed, but it was so great you on Hal Bodley. It was awesome. And just any final thoughts before we get out of here, leading into the season, or anything for the people that might be coming by for the event?
Well, I think it's just great to have this event. I'm glad that Charlie's here, and I'm sure that he'll be well received by all the people here. And thank you all very, very much for having me along.
Oh, Hal, thank you. Thank you. So you're listening to the afternoon play-by-play, 1280 WTMY, the sports fanatic. Tom Kernan hanging out. We got Andrew Glukove with us. We got Kyle Nash, student of the game. We just have Mr. Hal Bodley on there with us. What a great baseball chat we had with him. We're going to get Charlie on here in a little bit. I think Dick Cole is in the area somewhere. We're in between the Half Shell Oyster House and Forum Hair Salon right here, 1991 Main Street. Come by, say hello, get some autographs. It is a great time down here. I know Kyle Nash, student of the game, is only charging, what, $2.50 for an autograph, $2.50?
Well, it's a 2-for-1 special. If you got the brother or something you want to autograph
2 for 1.
We'll go 2-for-1 on that.
Excellent. So come down, get autographs, hang out, have a good time. We got baseball, food galore, and good times. Afternoon play-by-play, 1280 WTMY, the sports fanatic. We'll be right back.
Spent that bread, I'm headed home, I'm almost there, I'm on my way, headed up the stairs. To my surprise, they're replacing me. I had to take them to that ghetto university.